Every October, artists around the world take part in drawing challenges for the month as a way to improve their skills and develop their style. You've probably heard of Inktober as the most popular one, but since COVID, there has been an abundance of alternatives that have sprung up around themes other than ink drawings. While I've participated in these in the past, I've never been able to see it through the entire 31 days consistently enough to see a lasting change. So this year, I thought, double or nothing. Let's do 2 at the same time and see if it's the change I needed. And here are the most valuable things I learned. Hello, it is the 1st of October and I told myself that this year I would do like an Inktober challenge. So I found one like a little while back. They'd posted one. I actually found that I saved 2 instead of 1. One is Badtober by flesh.png, and it's basically this idea that you have 5 lives, and if you don't draw for any one of the days, you lose a life until you lose all of the 5 lives. But I kind of liked it because they have this idea that if you lose all of your lives, you've successfully failed Badtober, perfectly executing and employing the philosophies of Badtober, which is to draw badly and not finish. So I honestly feel like that's a really good motivator for me to just like let loose and do whatever. And the prompts are really, really random. Like today's is just cartoon characters, but then tomorrow is like, what if you drew something noodly? And like, I kind of just want to just have fun, you know? I want to just do something without the expectation that I'm going to post it or something like that. So I want to do this, and I won't feel bad if I don't end up finishing it or lose my 5 lives. Or if I don't draw anything good, because that is the essence of Badtober. Now, because I also like to keep myself struggling at all times, I also found this other Inktober that's more of a traditional Inktober, which is by Purple Fish Tank. And it's just like a normal Inktober in the sense that they have like 1 word for each day, and then you have to draw something inspired by that word. And I was thinking it might be good to couple creative free flow daily challenges with more like structured studies. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'll do my Badtober one on digital, and I'll do my Stingtober one on traditional, and I want to draw with a pen because I've gotten so used to drawing with a pencil and like trying to be super careful that I think I just need to like make myself do it and make it bad. And if it's bad, it's bad. Like it's fine. But I'm going to time box myself. So I think I'll give myself 15 to 30 minutes. Let's see how I go for Badtober, and then like 15-20 minutes for just like a pen study of something, and we'll just go from there. The first thing that I learned is to use the structure but design it for yourself. When you do an art challenge, the most basic form of participation is just to do exactly what the challenge describes. Make an ink drawing once a day, for example. But no 2 artists are the same, and if you want more out of the experience than just a participation trophy, you'll have to put more thought and intention into it when you start. What are the things that you want to or need to work on as an artist? How can you incorporate those into the structure of drawing daily, knowing the prompts and constraints will be set for you? For me, that looked like taking creative risks and coming up with original ideas, trying subjects and references I wouldn't normally be interested in, and letting go of perfectionism and willingly making and owning drawings that might displease my eye. I went into this wanting to become more in tune with my inner artist, and to better tolerate fear of failure and judgment, which have been behind much of my art block this year. I also decided I wasn't going to be posting anything on Instagram, as it would not only contradict my goals, but also externalize the accountability of doing it daily. I would be doing it because I needed to post, and not because I was keeping a promise to myself. Alright, this is my day 1 entry for Badtober, which actually it's not that bad. Pleasantly surprised. Alright, I'm gonna go do my traditional study now. Also, I finished my wall. That's kind of what it looks like. Don't look at how messy my desk is. I will clean it at some point. Right now, we're just doing a quick study of a tower. Alright, I'm literally just gonna use this first picture that comes up when I search tower. It's Tokyo Skytree. Alright. The second thing I learned is that this is the time to be out of your wheelhouse. Confirmation bias It's the human tendency to find and favor information that is in line with our existing beliefs. It's everywhere, including in the things that you love to draw and in the style that you are most used to. It's not a bad thing for sure, especially in art where so much of it is about the art that you create bringing you joy and meaning. But as an amateur artist who still hasn't given herself the chance to try lots of different things, it's what will ultimately hold me back in favor of the idea of what kind of artist I'll be. While I obeyed normal prompt rules with Badtober and came up with interpretations and ideas myself, I let Pinterest define what the prompt for the day meant. There were certainly days where, if it were up to me, all of my drawings would be humanoid in one way or another because it's what I'm most used to drawing and it's what I know I'm best at. However, Pinterest had other ideas when it came to prompts like feast, petal, secluded, and road. Of course, that doesn't mean I didn't try and sneak in human elements wherever I could, but without leaving it out of my hands, these are subjects that I would seldom ever attempt to draw, let alone in pen and so freely. It's shown me firsthand that I'll never truly know for sure how well I am able to draw something until I give it a shot. And we're at time. Pretty good. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day. I've come to the park and I'm gonna do my daily art challenge now here. Today's is what if you drew something noodly? So I'll put like 20 minutes on the timer. Okay, I'm gonna give myself 5 more minutes because I've had 2 little dogs come and say hi now. The other one's run off, but I feel like I should keep my camera on now in case I get another little guest. That was so cute. I am just about out of time. So today's prompt, here's the timer. Today's prompt was draw something noodly, and I drew a noodly dog. So I was going to write on this noodle poodle, but I actually don't know where to put the texts and how. So I've just left it as a noodly poodle. But I kind of like it. I like the texture on it. And she looks like a stunning lady. I haven't really just realized I didn't do the detail on the paws, but you know what? That's fine. It's just a practice today. It's 30 minutes. I'm happy with it. And now I'm gonna do my traditional study on my notepad. Okay, I'm using Pinterest this time, and I just randomly looked up claw, which is the prompt for today's Stingtober, and I found just this compilation of hands. I actually haven't drawn hands in a long time, so I think I'm gonna try and do these in as many as I can, 20 minutes with ink, which I think would be really interesting. So let's see how I go. The third thing I learned is that you need to consume to create. Chances are you've been thinking about creativity in a vacuum, where it originates from within you without any outside influence. But in fact, creativity is a machine, and like a machine, it demands input and processing just like any other system in order to produce the desired outputs. And if you're living an uninspired and routine life on autopilot, chances are there are no sources of inspiration going into your creativity machine. I know for many, art is a hobby sustained alongside other life commitments like work, school, extracurriculars, and romantic relationships. It can be hard to make time to draw each day, let alone look for innovations and novelty. But being inspired doesn't have to look like spending a whole day at a big art gallery. It can be as simple as noticing the expressions of people on the train home from work, or learning what your classmate is into these days, or taking a new way through a building you've passed through 1,000 times before and seeing how the light reflects off the walls at this hour. When you start to take snapshots of your life like this, it'll make for a much richer collection of ideas to draw upon when you're next faced with a prompt to create. Okay, my pen ended up running out of ink, so this is all I got done, but still pretty good. I mean, not good because I have to lay no lines down, so I'm just drawing wildly, but they could be worse for straight up ink drawings with no planning or preamble, just straight from a reference. And I haven't drawn hands in so long as well, properly, studied them. It's free time now. I'm gonna read for a little bit before I head back home to get ready for dinner with my friends. So I was out this evening and I forgot my iPad at home, so I couldn't do my digital drawing, but I did my traditional sketch, and today's theme was hero, so I just did a bunch of hero anatomy studies. They turned out okay. for someone who hasn't done anatomy in a long time, they actually are not bad. It is almost 11, so I'm just gonna spend 30 minutes to do the digital one now. And the theme of today is fashion! Wait, that's actually really hard because I don't know how to draw fashion without reference. Maybe I'll draw like brats from memory. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. Let's see how I go. I ran out of time, so it's just a head. But I was trying to draw a Bratz doll. I think I'm gonna leave her there. It's obviously not filling the whole page because I plan to do a little bit more than that, but I want to come back to this. This was really fun. It was more makeup than fashion, but I want to give her like earrings and some jewelry and maybe just like a bust section of some clothing, but we'll see. But this is so fun. It's very like dress to impress, I think. Today's theme was SpongeBob. More specifically, it was SponigBab. So I drew SpongeBob from memory. And you can tell it's from memory and that I never watched SpongeBob as a kid. So not bad though. Traditional study was, as you can tell, tree bark, or it was bark. So I did some studies of tree bark, which actually was very fun. It's very meditative. And this is all I got done in 20 minutes, but it does take a really long time to do like the shading and everything. So I think it's a job well done. Hello, it's been a couple of days. As you can probably tell by my voice, I am sick. I wanted to check in and say, I've been really struggling with drawing. Maybe it's because I'm doing 2 Inktovers at the same time, but I just dread it. But I will say, I dread it until I do it, and then I feel really good and I don't want to stop. Like today's was just no color, and I've been reading a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen recently. I'm like binge reading it. I was inspired to use this fight animation that I had saved ages ago on Instagram for studying that I never got around to studying, and I made like a little comic strip for it, which is like no color, but it was actually really fun. And like I didn't really want to stop, even though I dread doing it and starting for my 30-minute daily drawing ritual. Once I do get into it, I do have a lot of fun, which kind of makes me think that I still do love art. I just might have the wrong attitude towards art, because I didn't know what I was going to draw before I went into it, but I still had a lot of fun. I really like this. I'm going to go back after October and like finish the stuff that I want to redo with more time and things like that. And I think this might be one of them. I really wanted to do like a cool perspective on this, like a foreshortened, maybe either like their foot closer to the camera or a different angle, so that's not just the one that the original clip is from. But I'm happy with how it is so far. So as a little storyboard, I wanted to check in, and I'm going to now do 2 study sketches because I didn't do the one yesterday and I have to catch up. That's where we're at. But here are the shards, and this was assisted, but I don't know why all the references I had were just women on phones. And then these are today's, so this one and the next one. I'll give you 3 guesses which one I'm strong in and which one I'm weak in. Yeah, I don't do a lot of backgrounds. To be fair, it is like 15 minutes and I forgot to put the timer on even for this one, so I couldn't keep an eye on how long I had already spent on like one section of it, but you can so obviously tell that I draw people more often. Okay, I'm gonna pack up and go to bed now. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm so tired and I'm hoping like rest will help with this cold. But I'm excited because tomorrow I'm going to start on a special art project for hopefully an art shop. So I feel like drawing every day has really helped me worked up to that. I don't know. It's been a slog, but it's also been kind of fun. Isn't everything? Please. Oh, I've totally lost my voice today, but today's is
a money monkey. So I did a lucky cat, but a little monkey. It's so cute. I love it.
Look, I will not lie. I'm like 3 days behind on my Drawtopers. I didn't mean for this to happen. It just all coalesced when I tried to get all the stickers done at the same time. So now I'm 3 days behind on, oh, sorry, I ate a cookie before. I'm 3 days behind on Badtober, which I know is against the essence of Badtober, but like if you miss a day, you lose a life and you just don't go back. But maybe I'll have a look at what the prompts are. And if I don't want to do it, I just won't do it and I'll just lose a life. But I genuinely was going to catch up. There were some days where I was just like out all day. Like I was at a photo shoot all day yesterday. It was from like 9:30 in the morning until pretty much like 8:30 at night. And then we like went out for dinner afterwards. So it's pretty much the whole day. And I was like sick. So the prompts that I missed were draw in a new medium/program. I don't really have a new medium/program that I haven't used yet. I don't really have the time to like set all of that up. Maybe not that one. And then USPS needs a new international stamp design. That sounds kind of fun. What's the date today? So that means today's is draw something for me in particular, please, thanks. Okay, so that's today's one. I'm trying to remember if I've ever broken the rule before, but maybe I'll just abide by it today. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes on the stamp design, and then I'm gonna do my normal one today. But I am still gonna catch up on all of my Stingtober sketches. I'll just give myself like 7 to 10 minutes each instead of 15. And that way, hopefully I can get everything done in like an hour and a half, and then be back on track. But from now on, I will be following the rule where if you miss a day, you don't get to go back and do it for Badtober. The fourth thing that I learned is that the way you feel about art is just as important as the art you create. I personally think that mindfulness and reflection is so accessible, valuable, and impactful, and it is not celebrated or encouraged enough in everything that we do. How often do you take the time to notice how making art makes you feel, or how having to stop making art makes you feel? What does that tell you about who you are and what your relationship to art looks like? In a time when so much of art is centered on making it consumable for others and the engagement you can receive, and sometimes that's rightfully so because it may be your sole source of income, the way you feel about the art that you create may be one of the only remaining things that hasn't been commodified. As you can probably tell watching some of my clips in this video, taking the time to reflect regularly to the camera has really helped me process the fact that, yes, making art does bring me joy. And it brings me frustration, and it brings me surprises that I didn't set out to find. The act of simply sitting down and honoring a promise I made to myself that I would show up and scribble something, even if it was a day or two late, was simply all that was required, and everything else was always there. I had just forgotten to notice it. Hello. It is the final day of Sketchtober. I'm actually lying. It's like 4 days into November because I was sick, but medical emergency, so I'm not counting it. Although I have been a bit lax recently. But it is the final drawing day of Badtober and Stingtober. And today, the prompt, fittingly, for Halloween was costume. So I did like a little pen sketch of these people in, I want to say like a Wes Anderson costume, where it's either, based on the color scheme, either from Moonrise Kingdom, where he's holding like the tail, or it's from the Fantastic Mr. Fox, because they have the ears. I'm not sure. But it was actually really calming and super fun, and I kind of wish I did this like in a bigger scale, so it could have just been like just this on the page. I started a second one, but I ran out of time. But I do think it was a good way to send out the entire Stingtober collection. And then for Badtober, it was watch a piece of media and draw a scene from it. So I just picked this random clip from Criminal Minds when I was watching it. It's from the episode The Company, if you haven't seen it. It's a very good episode. I picked it because it had really nice colors in it, and I love that shade of blue. I obviously didn't finish, as 30 minutes is not that much, but I'm quite happy with where I got up to for 30 minutes. Like, I got most of the base colors down. It was just like the details that I didn't want to get into yet. So I definitely think it's something that I could come back and finish on another time if I wanted to. I think in conclusion of doing 2 drawing challenges throughout the month of October / a few days in November, there were just so many things that I learned. Doing Badtober really, really helped me just like be creative and also not have the pressure to finish everything on the first go. There were definitely days where I started it and I ran out of time and I didn't want to stop. So that's a really good sign that I still got it in me. But sometimes also you just need to like take a break and then come back to it, because I know sometimes when I finish after like 2 to 3 hours of just nonstop drawing on one piece, I feel kind of bad. So I think this was a really good like short-term exercise to break that up. I also think doing 2 at the same time was a little bit insane. I don't know why I thought it would be better than doing just one. I think it was because I treated Badtober like it was just for creativity, so it didn't have to look perfect. And then Singtober was just for studying so that I wouldn't losing my technical skills, but that one was really short. And that one, because it was an ink challenge, because I had to draw with only a pen and not a pencil, it really made me let go of perfectionist style and all that stuff. And I think I discovered a new style of drawing that I can do, which is just like pen outline drawings. Like, I discovered it kind of late, but there was this one day I found these portraits of these people, and so I just pen sketched them, and like I really liked the way that they came out. And I was like, what's to stop me from doing this style of drawing for anything? Like, sure, they don't look exactly normal because I couldn't lay down guidelines beforehand or anything, but it's also crazy that I was able to do something like that with no guidelines. And it's like, you can just try. And if it looks a little wonky, if it doesn't work out, like even the costume one today, the proportions were a little bit wonky. I think this guy's a little bit wider than he needs to be, and like the pants are too thick. But it still looks really cool. Like, that's a style. That's my style. So I think that was interesting. And the last thing is just that it helped me establish a really good schedule. Like, I would wake up in the morning, I would do these 2 studies first thing, well, like after brekkie. And that would take like, what, an hour max? And then I would like do admin or like general work that I had on my to-do list. And then in the afternoon, I could just like grind into making like the stickers and my art and like what I needed to do to actually create art intentionally. And I think that was one thing that I really struggled with back when I was just like trying to make art on the fly, because I'd be like, I don't really feel like making art. It doesn't feel like the right time to make art. And sometimes you just have to like start, do your 30-minute drawing exercise, and then you're like not gonna want to stop anyway. And it's like, may as well. I think it was a really, really worthwhile exercise for me. I got some really awesome drawings out of it, like even just studies, but ideas wise, like there were so many good ideas that I could take on and explore more. If you have the opportunity to and you have the time to, you don't even have to do Badtober like 30 minutes. Like, the only reason I did that was because I knew I wanted to paint, and painting would take longer than just like sketching. But you could even just do Badtober prompts 10 minutes a day. And you could do Stingtober prompts 10 minutes a day. And that's 20 minutes. Like, it's super straightforward. It gets you out of your art funk, teaches you a lot about the style that you inherently gravitate towards, and you end up with some really cool stuff at the end of it. There's really no reason why you wouldn't, apart from the fact that it just takes up time. But any kind of art making takes time. So if you're able to do it, definitely give it a go. You don't even have to wait for October. All the prompts are out there on the internet. And you might just discover something new about yourself and your ability to make art, like I did.